What's up, bros? Canal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Guys, hopefully you guys are having a happy, thirsty Thursday, Tootin' Thursday for some of you guys up on the East Coast. Gotta love Thursdays, man. Let's dig into the market indexes. Let's take a look and see what the game plan is for tomorrow in terms of the watch list. So the QQQs had a really nice day again today. Most of it was made on the gap. If you were penned into our YouTube live this morning, you notice, right? One of the things I was saying was when you've already had kind of a 4-day move and you gap up on the 4th day, like usually you just will have like this kind of what we'd call an inside day where, you know, you kind of chop around and you just end up finishing probably a little bit lower than you open or right where you open. And we got that. And what that's doing is, you know, when you get overbought, we're at a 91 stochastics on the overbought measure, you tend to go sideways in a really, really strong market. And so, you know, this is a fine day. It just was, you know, run out of gas. And you saw that a lot with a lot of stocks. They gapped up and then they just kind of farted around. But I thought the action was still, I mean, fantastic. You know, we had a pretty sick day short in this iron off the open. And, you know, I had a couple other gems out there, but so, you know, there was still some really good action. I think right now the market is just it's in the grind up. Any gap ups in this specific spot, I would not chase up. I repeat, if we say we gap up 1% tomorrow, I would not chase it up. That sets for a little bit of a rug pull, probably down to the 9 EMA. If we have a weak open, say we open weak and we come down, fill this gap here, or we open here, then probably the market's going to bounce. And so just kind of keep that into your mind. You know, we're in a weird sweet spot of the market where if we gap up, we pull back for the day, not like a long-term thing. And if we gap down or open flat, we probably rip it into Friday. So just kind of how it's going to work due to the location. We are in the Goldilocks territory of bull market, which is, you know, your longer-term trend is up, but you're also trending on a short-term basis up the 9 EMA, which is where the best action happens. That's usually where you can do overnight swings. You can do very aggressive day trading. You can add a little bit additional risk and a little pop to your trades. You know, we're right in this Goldilocks territory. We really minus like 3-4 days. Been in it for almost well over a month. Let's take a look at the SPY. I think we got, you know, very similar looks here, right? Where you're just like a slightly extended, and we had a consolidation day. And so we got a level for tomorrow, 544, right? And if we kind of open weak, I think probably somewhere in this zone, I think that gets bought up too. You know, so watch and see if we get, you know, some Friday, you know, fun and games in the morning and we kind of fill this gap. I think we probably rip up. If we have a big gap up, I don't think I'll chase it. I'll wait for an intraday pullback, or I'll just look at individual names with news, right? So stocks that have news out will move irregardless to the market, right? So if you've got some stock that had earnings out and it's on some big heater, whether the SPY goes down a couple ticks or not doesn't matter. So just kind of keep that in mind. So let's get into this. I want to watch this SMCI for tomorrow. We had a huge remount of the 50-day moving average, 20 SMA. You know, I didn't see any news on this today, minus that some stock split rumors, you know, make this price maybe a little bit cheaper, right? Let some other people play. But you've got a spot here at this trend line. It's set up for it. Now, the question, it becomes like, you know, obviously kind of was a little bit of a, you know, it moved on nothing today, right? And so usually that means there's something there, but we don't necessarily know. But we do got a sweet spot on it. Fridays are always good days for SMCI because the options get really cheap, right? People tend to zero DTE them because this thing is so expensive. And you know what? Even zero DT options on SMCI are freaking expensive. It's just one of those stocks, right? It's so up there. So, but I think this is probably top of the list for tomorrow. AVGO, I want to watch any big pullbacks on this. You know, it's obviously up huge in the last few days. If 2-3 days of pullback, I think this one's going to really set up. Cypher, love this one. I've been talking about this for the last couple days. We're setting up into a longer-term breakout here that's got a big mama jama going back multiple years. And so we've got a little mini breakout going into the larger breakout. It may need 1 day of rest here to back and fill this area before it attacks the 550, you know, but you never know. If the market gets hot enough, you can just do it. But ideally, just a little bit of a dip and rip would really set us up nice. We've got Hive. I got a lot of these miners here. This one's got 6 million shares volume. You got a range break right there. CLSK has got a range break right there. STIG, right? A little blast from the past. You know, even something like this, it doesn't do any volume, but watch and see if it starts. You start to see 5 million shares pop off, something like that. That's what usually will happen. All of a sudden, you know, something's up the corner. Qualcomm is at the breakout spot. Any weak open on this one, like see today, like it pulled right back. That's where you want to do it. If you got to chase up a gap, then I wouldn't do this one because it's kind of right at a weird spot here. Netflix is real tied up. It's got that look like it's just going to do one of those $10 MPCs out of the blue. I don't know why the volume's so low on this thing, but it's got a nice spot to it. Taiwan Semiconductor had a rest day, an inside day today. I think, you know, a flat open on this one tomorrow probably sets up a little go. Halo. Hey, after that big PR, we're starting to pull back. We're starting to pull here. I think this is a good sweet spot on it. So you got a high volume push and then a low grind down. You know, I think we got a good location on that one. FSLR, after this 3-day pop, you had an inside day on this today. You know, it's right back at support here. Let's see. They tested into the support here. Let's see if we get a weak open and test this support. I think that, you know, we have a chance to kind of rip it back through. I would consider that not an inside day because it's not inside this previous day, but in happy-go-lucky pullback. I think it's got a really interesting spot. I want to add a couple shorts in case the market gets nasty. This W had 5 million shares in volume today. You got a bear flag here. Really nice trend down 8%. I think that that's right. You know, it's got a really good spot on it. UPST, even a firm got rugged today. This one's got a spot here right at 22.75. You do that, it's taking it down to 21, down 7% today. Good volume on it. I think we can play that thing. I got Asana here coming out of a bear flag too. So I think these three, you know, we've got some nice, easy shorts that we can add in if we need to take some things down. Now, on the other side of things, on the large cap side, you know, obviously, any big gap ups, like say you got a gap up in MU and you're at like 145, 146, I think that could be something we take down too, just for a quick day trade, maybe down to the 9 EMA. It's come a long way. It was just 121 just a couple days ago, right? So, you know, kind of play. We got to keep that into the back of our heads, right? Keep that into the back of our head. So that's the list, guys. I'm sticking to it. Watch all these Bitcoin miners. I thought the interesting thing about Bitcoin miners was that they were going today, and Bitcoin is not really doing anything. You know, and that was some of that was on this Trump PR. He said, hey, I want to, all Bitcoins should be mined in the United States, which is really about as fluffy as it gets. But you never know, man. Sometimes that type of stuff, it could spark something for a few days. So let's keep this thing going. I love you guys. Peace in the Middle East.